Welcome. Welcome to the artists of the American Makerspace in Qarshi in Uzbekistan. We are Techspressionist artists. I'll say what Techspressionism is in a moment. The topic of today's presentation is how technology changes artist interactions with cultural sources. My name is Stephen Paré, and I am the moderator today. Let's say a few words about what Techspressionism is. Techspressionism is an artistic approach in which technology is utilized as a means to express emotional experience. And Techspressionism is also a global networked community of artists working with technology. And all of us here today are Techspressionist artists. Techspressionism is a movement, and it is open to other artists in the world. If you are interested in joining Techspressionism, the web addresses are on the slide. What we offer is monthly meetings, monthly salons on Zoom, and artists present and discuss. We also have smaller groups, weekly working together once a week. The timing should be workable for evenings for artists in Uzbekistan. Techspressionism is a global community, and we have artists from India, Iran, Europe, various European countries, lots of artists from the United States and Canada, and I'm leaving out other countries, but we are aiming to be an international movement. So Uzbeki artists are most welcome. So the Techspressionist community has also been responsible for creating live exhibitions with pictures and videos hanging on walls and so on, including in Uzbekistan. And that's how we made this connection. Our exhibition in Uzbekistan took place at Urgench this past September, October, and November. And the show then moved to show in Samarkand. So it took place at the Contemporary Art Museum of Uzbekistan in Urgench. We thank Shirin Tasheva, the director of the Museum of Contemporary Art of Uzbekistan. My name is Stephen Paré. I'm a digital artist and a mixed media artist, and I will be moderating the panel of artists today. Our presenting artists today are Patrick Lichty, Cha, and Erin Ko.
Hello, my name is Patrick Lichty, and I'm also presenting on behalf of my wife and partner, Nagina Sabian. I want to thank everyone at the Qarshi American Space for having us, and also to Shireen Tashkova for having us as part of her initiatives in Uzbekistan. My website is patlichty.com. And Nagin's is neganet.com. And we currently live in Winona, Minnesota, in the United States, after having been in Abu Dhabi, then Cyprus, Istanbul. I wasn't in Tehran and Weimar, Germany, and then we're now in the United States since June of last year. One of our taglines, as we say, for our work is that art is a manifestation of life for us. So this is a little bit of information about us. I'm originally from Akron, Ohio. I lived in Chicago, New Orleans, Minneapolis, Austin, and Dubai. I do visual art, performance, music and media, and I'm a co-founder of Techspressionism. Um, I've been exhibiting visual art internationally since 1990. I've been part of the Venice, Whitney, Maribor, Performa, and Yokohama biennials, and I'm also a Herb Alpert Fellow. I'm also in a few museums. Um, I'm part of the half of the NPT collective with my wife and partner Negin Etasabian, who studied at the University of Tehran and has over 40 illustrated books, has exhibited around the world, and is also was founder of Techspressionism Iran. She also is a medalist from the Sharjah Book Festival in the United Arab Emirates. Our work House on the Water. It's in Hello, Uzbekistan at the Contemporary Art Museum of Uzbekistan, Urgench, and also the Art Station Samarkand at Silk Road University. Um, it's a metaphor as our journey as a family, as we've migrated from the United Emirates around the world on our way to finally being here in the United States where we live, where we're waiting for Nagin's naturalization. We use cultural sources from our origins and where we lived. This could be the United States, Iran, Germany, um, Germany, where I picked up influences on German Romanticism, and Nagin's metaphor for living on the water as being in uncertain times is an Iranian one, and also research on the Persian water goddess Anahita. So this is the installation at Kamuz or Gensh. It is work that tells the story in three stages. On one hand, we have the central motif, the two sets of images to the sides showing the turbulent environment around us, and then incorporating the two as a metaphor for the house on the water that we live in now in the United States. So if we're going to have a house on the water, we need a house. We use some artificial intelligence, but not all. We used Meshi.ai to create a 3D model of a house made of paper and origami. And this is our favorite. And we use this in visualization of our work. Negin also has been researching the goddess Anahita, the Zoroastrian goddess of water and wisdom. I found this description of her that I really loved. The life-giving deity of the damp, the strong, and the untainted. And this is one representation of her. So in this, we have the water that our house floats above, and the goddess above us, um, giving us life, giving us protection, and being with us on the water. And to the sides are a couple research images on the goddess Anahita. So the image is based on research of Iranian legends of the water goddess. Influences on the next stage surrounding. In 2425, Negin was living in Weimar, Germany, where she was studying there, and I was there as much as I could. This was the home of German Romanticism, and here is the monument to the great cultural icons of German Romanticism, Goethe and Schiller. There, I rediscovered the work of Caspar Friedrich, who was a great friend of Goethe's. And this is his famous piece, The Wanderer Across the Sea of Fog, which is one of the iconic works of German Romanticism. So I was studying this, and I realized that he was a great student of nature, of clouds, of fog, of water. And from this, Goethe asked that he um, do a atlas of clouds for him, being that Goethe was a subjective researcher of many things in nature, being an early natural scientist. So from this, um, Friedrich actually refused. And from that, I decided to take my interest and actually create two atlases of my own. I other works are I created an atlas of clouds and an atlas of seas. From this, I took two pieces from these works as a representation of um, how I kind of feel Romanticism reasserts itself within the contemporary age in terms of an anxiety about technology like artificial intelligence, and also anxiety about things like climate change, global warming. And this is represented through the awe that the Romantics felt about nature and its great power, and how that power is intensifying. So, house on the water. It's a Persian metaphor. It means living in uncertain circumstances, which is Nagin in my life. It's also like the metaphor living on shifting sand. So it's a metaphor for our migration path from the UAE to Germany through all these other countries to Minnesota, where we live on the Mississippi River, the nation's longest waterway. So here we have actually a picture of the Mississippi River from near our home. And one of the two framing images from House on the Water, which has, the turbulent skies, the river, the goddess, and then the house in which we live. So in many ways, House on the Water as the installation is a depiction of our journey from, throughout our time in migrating around the world. So our work is deeply informed by our culture, of course, from an individual and a collective and a mutual sense. It's a source from which we tell our stories of who we are and where we've been. And we tell a story of uncertain times, but one also of hope, family, and togetherness. We want to thank you. That's Nagin and I, and actually during a trip to Germany in Berlin. You can find me on Instagram at Pat Lichty Art, and you can find Nagin at neganet.art. That's us, Patrick Lichty and Nagin Etisabian. I'm at patlichty.com, and she's at neganet.com, and we are from Winona, Minnesota. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Patrick. We will turn next to Cha.
Hello, everyone. Uh, I'm Cha, an intermediate artist and sculptor, currently working in the spatial internet at Loop Art Critique, which you can find at loop.onland.io. I'm in a couple of museum collections, the UN Gallery of Art and Architecture in Knoxville, Tennessee, and the Rhizome Art Base for Nasty Nets, the new museum in New York City, New York. What are cultural sources? The images contained in and or utilized to build a model, an AI model for generative artificial intelligence, text-to-image generation, for example, ImageNet _16384. All the media found at the Internet Archive. And this is AI Selfie 00112. It's a generative AI text-to-image generation using the prompt artificial intelligence. In this case, asking VQGAN plus clip plus ImageNet underscore 16384 model to simulate its understanding of what artificial intelligence is and or looks like. When I took that image and put it into an image to 3D AI to generate a 3D model. And here we see the 3D model, which was a video. And here we are in the spatial internet. We see both 2D file, a PNG or JPG, and then a GLB, the 3D version. And in this space, we can walk around and through them. Thank you.
Thank you, Cha.
Thank you, Stephen.
We will turn next to Erin Ko. She's a futurist, and she's a veteran game developer. She's an early pioneer in web development. Here we go. Take it away, Erin.
Okay, can you hear me? You can.
Yeah, yeah, I
Okay.
can hear.
Okay, so hi everyone. My name's Erin. I'm an interdisciplinary artist. I work in many different mediums. Please check out my work when the bandwidth is better, because I think a lot of this stuff plays better on video. I wanted to talk about technology and culture and art as always existing together. Um, I work with, I work with augmented reality quite frequently. I work with images of myth and ritual and the esoteric. Um, these things are the most useful tools we have to explore stories about ourselves. I am not really sure. I feel like I skipped some slides. That's okay. We'll just keep going. Um, I got interested in working with technology around the 90s as part of a practice that incorporates many analog mediums: painting, sculpture, installation, moving image. And because technology is such a key part of our lives and our culture, I feel that it's also a very important tool to be aware of, at least for myself, but honestly for many artists. I think it's good for them to have a seat at the table. You can see with these images on the left, this is the canvas as it is. On the right, this is the augmented layer. A lot of this stuff starts off as street art and becomes canvases in the studio. New York is a mythical place and a source of a lot of cultural influence for me, so you'll see a lot of that woven through my images. This is an image of Icarus, actually, which I wanted to talk a little bit about in terms of culture, art, and technology. Icarus, the ancient Greek myth about the son of a great artist and inventor who flew too close to the sun and melted his wings and was destroyed by his ego and perhaps his hubris around the use of technology. These are stories we've been telling ourselves for a long time. And it's a central dilemma, no matter what the technology is how to use technology responsibly. I often use fire as the most basic example, even when talking about digital media, because if you think about what you can do with fire, you can make someone a meal or you can burn their house down. The more things change, the more they stay the same. This particular piece is also about the idea of rising to success, whatever this means, where I have the profile of the city here. I have meditating astronauts, which I'm very fond of, here. We seek transcendence through technology. So, and I have my niece as a stand-in, but a childlike version of Icarus. This is really where we're at. I'm also into shared experiences and collective consciousness. Especially in the West, we suffer from the cult of of hyper-individualism. I'm really interested in making connections between people through art and through experiences, and offering opportunities for people to collaborate and build artwork together. So this is a piece called Flow. It is layers of flowing fabric. I didn't put any videos in the interest of streaming, but you can see video online somewhere. This piece, people use their phones, they text messages to the art, it populates, it fills the room, and it becomes kind of a collective, collaborative, magnetic poetry where your words get mixed with other people's. And this is akin to society, it's akin to prayer, it's akin to a philosophy closer to Ubuntu philosophy, which says, I am a person through other people. You are a different person to your parents than you are to your children, than you are to your teachers, than you are to the person in the cafe, but they are all you. So we have this central conflict, especially in 2026 in a hyper-capitalist world, this conflict between the individual and the collective, and I like to explore that. Of course, AI is one of the most controversial, game-changing tools on the horizon right now. This is a series of works that I've done over the years, the first earliest in 2019, and the latest was just last year. Under different circumstances, I think that we might consider AI a miracle and the expression of the collective, because it is a collaborative effort. It is all the things that everyone has put online combined. And without the hyper-individualism of capitalism, we might consider this a step towards divinity or a step towards self-reflection that we didn't have before. I think it's very interesting that you can tap into this huge collective of thought and creativity. I'm very into merging and building worlds. So I have a project going right now which uses all of my techniques. It combines real world with augmented reality, with performance, with AI, and with music, and it's an interactive musical. And lastly, I want to say, in terms of technology, culture, and art, the history of these things is a conversation that humanity is having with itself forever, that we will always have. So on the left, we have this illustration that was done in 1851. It was very directly copied in 1970 to make a very famous album cover. And we have a 2026 rendition by myself with the help of our great collective, the AI. These things will continue on. This is who we are. And this is how we understand who we are. And that's it. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, I hope we've at least stimulated your imagination. Do you? I would like to find out about you as artists. What do you do as artists? Are you using technology? Are you using your computers?
Yeah, yeah. Most time 3D models.
What are you doing?
We are basically building the 3D models and we're printing using the 3D. I'm not sure
Oh.
whether it's visible or not.
Wow.
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a 3D model. The second thing is this one.
It's like a llama,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. It's and the brain itself. It's like yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope
Yeah.
that some of the presentations have inspired people to experiment and do something really wild. That's one of the things that we're
Oh
interested
yeah,
in.
definitely. What I wanted to do was the presentations. So most of the students who are in art school, I just wanted to reach out to them, and most of them they do not know English well. So using your slides, I wanted to explain what you said earlier, and then explaining the ways in Uzbek, not in English, so I can better understand and think out of the box, so they can further do something big.